Camera. Good morning. My name is Enos Harris. I'm the hearing officer for San Francisco Public Works. With me today is Nathan Rodas, who is serving as the clerk of this hearing. This hearing is being conducted virtually via Zoom and is being recorded. A link to the recording will be made available afterward on the San Francisco Public Works website at sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there is no sign-in sheet. If you would like to receive notification of the results of today's hearing, please send an email to the address listed on your hearing notice. Today's public hearing is being held to consider one item, order number 300207, to consider the notice to repair and notice of violation and abatement order. The notice is regarding overgrown vegetation at 1435 26th Avenue. My role as hearing officer is to gather the facts, listen to all testimonies, and make recommendations to the Director of Public Works. I will not make any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings and my recommendations to the Director, who will make the final determinations. Once the director has made a decision, the department will notify you if you have submitted contact information. The hearing for this item will proceed as follows. Public Works staff will present the case. There is no time limit for this presentation. I will then call on the applicant to speak. Finally, I will hear from any member of the public or witness who wishes to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. The clerk will monitor the time and notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining. If you're a party to the proceeding and would like to use visual materials, please let me know before you speak. You will still have the standard 3 minutes to present your comments. If you're using a computer, please use the raise your hand feature in Zoom when I call for public comments. If you're dialing in by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. When I recognize you, and if you are muted, you must press *6 to unmute yourself. All comments and questions should be directed to me, not to the applicant or to Public Works staff. If I believe a question is appropriate, I will ask it. If you cannot complete your statement within a 3-minute time limit, you may submit written comments to me by the end of this hearing. After all comments have been heard, I will close the hearing. Before we begin the hearing items, I will accept general public comment on matters that are within the department's jurisdiction but not on today's agenda. Are there any public comments at this time? Okay. So if there are none, we'll now begin today's agenda. Order number 300207. May I have Public Works staff present the case?
Good morning. My name is Fadi Khouri. I'm a street inspector supervisor with Public Works Code Enforcement. I'm here today to represent Public Works with the case regarding 1435 26th Avenue, complaints about overgrown vegetations and unpermitted landscape containers on the sidewalk. We first received complaints about the site back in November of 2024 and notified the property owners shortly after. We started engaging in a conversation with the property owner and working with them on ways to make this property frontage in compliance. I would like to share slides with you as I'm explaining the conditions. I haven't done the sharing with this app. So after over a year of back and forth with the property owner, we issued the first abatement order via our ASAP program, that is the Accelerated Sidewalk Abatement Program. Apologizing for a minute to figure out the sharing. That's the arrow, and that's the sharing. Making sure you can see the screen right now. What I'm sharing, it's a list of approximately 10 complaints over the 2 years period we've been working with the property owner. We got to the ASAP order abatement back in February of this year, 2026, and we had a similar hearing whereby the hearing officers ordered the property owners to collaborate with the city on coming up with amicable solution. And we kept that in mind. It's the focus of our inspection to come up with a workable solution. To show you the situation, the conditions in 2024, how they were. The main issue is that we have an overgrown hedges, tree, and led as a trellis over to the other side of the sidewalk. We have, where the car is parked, a landscape container that is raised above 2 feet, and that is not within compliance of our landscape ordinance. It prevents parked vehicles from opening passengers' doors and safely accessing the sidewalk. We also have boulders on the sidewalk, which is a risk for people walking. This is 2024. If you move up to 2026 and you start seeing the conditions worsening, that's a clear view of what it looks like on the sidewalk everywhere else on this block. And then when you come to this location, the sidewalk narrows to 3 feet at best. Then also we have an ordinance controlling that trees over the sidewalk should be 8 feet, providing 8 feet clearance, and we don't have that over here. So there are many codes that are applicable in here. Public Works Code 706 states that this is the responsibility of the homeowner to maintain their frontage. Over here, this is public right-of-way. This is not a private land. So we asked the property owners numerous times to apply for landscape permit to comply with city ordinances, and we're still waiting for that to happen. After the last hearing we received another complaint, and we issued a regular notice to repair back on June 24, 2026, 30 days notice asking the homeowner to comply. And in the correspondence with the homeowner, who was ordered to work with the city to comply with regulations and come up with amicable solution, the homeowner expressed to the senior inspector on July 2nd that he doesn't see any problem with the overgrown vegetations. The problems we have in here are numerous. As I mentioned before, the overgrown hedge trellis above the sidewalk. You have that choking point, and that's originally what a sidewalk looks like before you get in front of this property. And we have over here hidden rocks under these plants. These are all posing risks, and they are not within the codes of this public works that we enforce. While we're working on coming up with a solution, I want to remind everyone that the property owner remains responsible for any injuries or any claims happen from the sidewalk conditions. I am gonna stop presenting and leave the floor for questions.
Okay, that's the end of your presentation. You're on mute.
Yes, ma'am. I do have more slides, but I kind of summarized everything in this story.
Okay. Thank you, Public Works. Is the appellant here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, what is your name?
Ari.
Art?
Yeah, it's Abinet. It's for Abinet.
Okay. Okay, do you have any visuals that you like to?
I want to, but the Zoom desktop is not giving a way to show anything. All I all I have is a raise hand, chat, show caption.
Okay, clerk, can you help him out with that?
Let me
I got a
promote.
pop-up now that says join as panelist.
That should do it.
Okay, you
Okay,
have 3
I've
minutes
just
when you're
enabled
ready.
video and audio. Oh, now I see share. Okay. Okay, so let me share. Okay, so first I'll share. Okay, so since we're starting, and I only have 3 minutes, then I'll share just my talking points. And then, oh shoot, I'm sorry. I have to share again. It didn't work. That was the wrong screen. Okay, what do I do? One moment, please. How do I share a different screen once it shares this one? Because that's the wrong screen. Oh, do I make it bigger? Oh, okay. I know. I see it now. One moment, please. Oh, I have to click the share button, not just double click. Okay, I click the share. Are you seeing anything?
I just see your Word
Just my.
document.
Oh, okay. That's a start. So those are the talking points. Um, Formatting got a little messed up, but anyhow, those are the talking points, and you can read along. But basically, the history is incorrect, and all the items that the inspector listed as being problems and not complying are all incorrect, and follow ordinance and and all these complaints, as a reminder from the last hearing, all stem from one renter next door that has a vendetta, and he's the same one that's constantly doing all the same complaints. There are no other complaints. I can get over 8 or 15 support from the neighborhood, loving the gardening, and it meets the policy of the department's goal of beautifying and enhancing the natural forestry. So that's the backdrop from the last hearing. On this one, this was a completely uncollaborative process. It was really, as you can read in my talking points, Inspector Burrow didn't work collaborative at all, as ordered in the last hearing. And she refused to provide the codes, the regulations, and even pictures identifying, pointing out what needs this and what's that. No discussion whatsoever. She issued a 30-day NOV, and then within 7 days of us going back and forth and me asking for these documentations, she refused and then just issued within 7 days. We were supposed to have 30 days to have back and forth. Within 7 days, she issued an NOV, abatement violation thing, with $400 fine, and shall do this, shall do that, shall do that. No discussion. That's a violation of the director's orders that we're supposed to collaboratively, not adversarially, not confrontationally, deal with this. Okay. There's inconsistency between the posted abatement and the mailed one. They say different things. So that makes it kind of defective to begin with. And then for the items on that were on the notice, which did not include everything the inspector just
You have 30
listed.
seconds left, sir.
Yeah. So we meet every one of those. There's 4 feet on the ground. There's 7 and 8 feet passage through the top. There is no there is no structure. It's all just a trellis on a tree. Your complaint is on the tree, not anything I'm doing. There's no parking obstruction. Cars park just fine. And what else is there? In the stones, there's no way. It's all in line with the planter. The planter ordinance says you just need 4 feet on the sidewalk, and the planter ordinance for tree planter ordinance says there's no curve on the street side curve necessary at all. Okay, and if you want the stones to be higher, I can double the height. I'm happy to make the stone. There is no tripping, and I'm happy to take any risk because there's zero risk. There's absolutely zero way. This is all made up, and it's really at this point, it's like a really DPW is being like a harassing because this is just a one-way harassing street, and we're getting tired of it. And that's the time, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, I have a few questions though. You Mr. Art, you said? What is your last name, sir?
Oh, Tekie.
What is it?
Tekie.
Takei. Okay. So the trellis that is over the sidewalk, what is the height from the sidewalk to the bottom of the trellis? What is the height over the sidewalk?
For one thing, the trellis is on top of the tree branches. It's not a separate, it's just sitting on the tree branches, and it's just to guide the vines through the tree branches over the sidewalk, and it's 8 feet. And I made sure it's 8 feet because I'm a collaborative working. When we work together, things will meet everybody's requirements. So there is 8 feet.
Okay. There's 8 feet from the sidewalk to the bottom of that trellis. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct.
And then as far as the width across the sidewalk, how much space
4
is
feet, as I
it's
said.
4 feet?
Yeah,
Okay.
3 feet is not true. There's 4, and there's only 4 feet for a very short period where you see that wine barrel planter on the would be the west side. Just for maybe the 4 feet is really maybe just for 1 foot or 2 foot, because that's the width of that planter. The rest is 5 or 6 feet space or more, because so that's the answer. And I trim it back periodically because things grow, and I trim back. So if it grows 6 inches, a foot, then I trim it back. That's the nature of landscaping.
Okay, yeah. So according to what I heard from Public Works initially, you had a previous hearing, and that you had some directives from that hearing. And from what I'm hearing of Public Works, the request of that hearing were not met, which was why another notice was met. Okay,
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not what happened.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that then.
You'll see the order, ma'am. You'll see the
Okay.
order. It said to work collaboratively towards establishing compliance and requirements. Okay. So there was not do this or do that. It was, okay, let's figure out what's what. And that did not happen, as I pointed out here.
Okay.
And if it did, you would see I'm in the correct on every point, on every
Okay.
requirement, every order. There are 2 directors' orders and ordinances, and they ignored it. This Inspector Bardot ignored everything I pointed out and threw it to the wind, and then just issued abatement order.
Okay.
How collaborative is that?
So what I will do, I will find the other order of the other hearing, and I'll listen to that so I can
And what the ruler
some
that
notes on that.
sorry, ma'am, the ruler that he's putting on the screen there, that can be trimmed. Like I said, that's just overgrowth. That's 1 foot of on the ground. They grow fast, and I just trim it back 1 foot, and it's back to start, 4 feet.
Right. And so the public, as far as Public Works goes, it's to the property owner to maintain it. And
Correct.
so
Correct.
usually I can tell you that a lot of these things are complaint driven, which I'm sure you know. And the process usually is they'll come out, they'll post a notice, they'll give you so many days to have it done, and then they'll come back and they'll reinspect, and then enforcement will escalate. if the things that were requested were not done during, during the course of the time that was given.
I'm
That's
familiar.
that's typically how enforcement goes.
It's not what happened here.
Okay, I mean, I don't, I will look at all of the evidence
And,
that was presented
and
today.
moreover, Ms. Harris, correct, it's complaint driven. But the problem is the way DPW and the city complaint system in general is set up, it's set up to be weaponized by individuals. And in this case, a vindictive renter next door, when I complained that you see that the van parking over the sidewalk?
Yes.
DPW doesn't do anything about that. That's a foot over the sidewalk. Oh, that's fine. But when I complained about that and I said, hey, you guys shouldn't park and block the sidewalk, a week after that, 4 days after that was the first complaint on this on the landscaping in the front. And it's
Right.
been years, all the years before, zero problems.
Well, I
And this
mean,
one complainer then comes anonymous every time, and you say, I've got 4 complaints, 5 complaints, 10 complaints. It's all the same guy. So you guys are getting weaponized as a harassment tool. So if you can let yourselves do that, you're accepting that is your accomplice in that harassment.
so I will say that Public Works does not enforce cars over the parking lot. So if that went through, then that would have been another agency that's another agency.
And they don't enforce it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I want to speak to that part first, that because you're connecting the two, so that's
No,
different.
pardon, Ms. Harris. The connection is that's what prompted this guy to start the vendetta, because 4 days after I said, hey, you can get a ticket for that, 4 days after that, that's what I meant.
Hmm.
That prompted him to start this vendetta.
Okay. And that's Public Works is tasked with enforcing the codes that we have. So as I said, I'll look at the previous hearing, and I'll look at the things that you've submitted, and review the items that were brought up today. I thank you very much for your time. And as I said earlier, the director will make the decision. It's just based on my recommendation.
And there are hundreds of other situations that we have documented throughout the city that will have the same kind of planter, parking, the whole thing,
Okay.
and the passageways and all these things. And so if there's selective enforcement on us, it's coming on everything, and
No,
that's
well,
not permitted.
just as was stated, this is based on complaints. And so that's the
Harassment
reason that
complaints.
we're talking specifically about your property,
Yeah, of
and
course.
the issues that are happening there. So
That's
thank you very much.
okay, Ms. Harris. Thank you very much as well.
No problem. Do we have any other speakers or witnesses who wish to speak on this matter? Okay, very good. So if there are no further comments, I will close this item and make my recommendation to the director. This item is now closed. Before closing the hearing, I want to offer one final opportunity for the public on any item on today's agenda. So do we have anyone from the public would like to speak, who has not been permitted to speak previously? Looks like there may not be. Okay, very good. If there are no further comments, I am now closing this hearing. This hearing is, hold on a second. Yes.
Thanks for giving me the space. Mr. Tiki, pleasure seeing your face, your image of you. We've talked on the phone in the past. I want to make sure I reiterate what I told you. Although we are driven by complaints from the public, my job here is to serve everybody equally. I will not allow our enforcement to be used as a tool between neighbors to go at each other's. What I needed from the property owner at 1435 26th Avenue is to collaborate and work with us to bring the site into compliance.
I wish I had used the inspector and not Ms. Bordeaux, because twice she did not collaborate. You are very collaborative. You are very nice on the phone, and you're a very good person. The others are not. They are not good people.
And again, it might be misunderstanding, but I read the message from the last conversation. After a 30 days notice was posted, I read that you indicated nothing is wrong with what we have, like
Not
we're
true.
hearing today.
I asked for evidence, I asked for codes, and I asked for pictures. She refused to give any of it. You would have. She didn't.
Okay. My apologies
Be
if that's the
truthful, you'll
understanding.
see we are correct.
Okay. Just to, if I'm allowed to share the whole PowerPoint with the judge for today, that would be great. I just want to point out to you one thing. If I'm still sharing, do you guys see the screen?
Oh, we see your face. Yes.
Okay. I want to share that screen just to make sure we know what's the 2 feet. this one in here. And again, Mr. Tiki, I'm here to serve you like the neighbor. It doesn't matter. This is what we're talking about, and the red arrow is not permitted. So if you get a
That's not
landscape
true.
permit,
That's not
if-
true. That's
if
not
you-
true. If you look at the tree permit from the director's ordinance, which you guys ignored many times that I pointed out, there is no curbside 2-foot requirement. You can go right up to curbside with a tree planter. I gave you the ordinance, not the ordinance, I gave you the director's order, and it says it clearly. And you can have tree rails, they go up 18 inches right up to the curve, as long as you, on the other sidewalk side, you leave 4 feet. And nobody would say where that 4 foot came from. That's just for ADA wheelchair passageway. That's all that's for. But you guys won't give me that code. I had to figure it out myself. I'm asking where your source is, and you guys ignore when I show you a director's order. It's
So
not good
if-
faith what you're doing.
if we show you the order that requires that must be 2 feet clear from the curb on the parking side, we will be okay?
No, still not, because we never had a discussion. If we had a discussion, you would already know all this.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, hold
the
on a
discussion
second.
is that's
Hold on
not
a
true.
second. Hold on a second.
Yes,
Hold on a
ma'am.
second.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you saying, because the Public Works has just offered to share that code with you, and
No,
are
I
you
know
saying
it.
that that's not good enough? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, what DPW apparently is not aware of their own director's orders is that there are 2 director's orders governing planters. There's not just one, like you guys, or not you guys, these inspectors that I'm dealing with think. And they ignore what I point out, and they ignored it in the last hearing. I pointed it out in the slides, is that there are 2 tree planter orders. I mean, there's 2 planter orders, one for tree planters and one for general planters. The tree planter one has 0 curbside. You read it, you'll see it. Has 0 curbside offset requirement, okay? And a 4-foot sidewalk passageway. The other planter, general planter ordinance does say that, but it's only if there's a parking obstruction problem. The tree planter is the one that you guys are questioning. If you see his picture, the one showing the arrow and the parking, that's the tree planter. That ordinance requires no curbside setback. So yes, I would disagree with that.
Okay, so are all of your points in your presentation, all of your
Yes.
order that you challenged? I was speaking to Mr. Arts.
Yeah, no, it was in the last hearing. I
Okay,
emailed you guys a presentation, and there was those 2 director's orders. I pointed all this out. I thought I was going to get a nice, friendly, okay, let's go through this. What we understand this and that. Collaborative, like the director ordered. Opposite. Bulldog, bully, push and shove, shall do this, shall do that. Ignore everything I say, and you guys are wrong on every point.
so just so you know, because it sounds like the language is the sticking point here. That's what our language says. It says shall, it's a lot of
No. This
shall
is
to it.
this is inspector behavior. I'm not
Oh,
talking about the
okay.
codes.
Okay,
I
I
know
got
the
it.
codes. No,
Okay.
I'm very legal. I know codes very well, and I'll take all of this to appeals and civil litigation because I'm very legal. I go by the laws and ordinances. You guys show me, I'll comply. You guys just push and start all this fighting stuff. It's gonna go the wrong way.
No problem. I will look at what you have, but one more question for Public Works. Is there a difference between like the sidewalk planters and then the tree planters that he's talking about?
Not quite. The governance of that code is if there is a parking place, street parking for a vehicle near that tree basin, nothing should be erected more than 4 inches to
And
allow
that-
that door
That's
to
not
swing
how it's
open.
worded. That's
Right.
not how it's worded. Show me the
Okay.
code, and we'll discuss the code.
I
No
don't
And then,
want
problem.
moreover,
No
let me add,
problem.
even if all that were true, and it is not, that parking spot that's in front of our building there happens to be a double long spot. So if anybody had a passenger that wanted to get off, they just pull forward. See that car that in that picture there? It could
White
pull
vehicle?
that
Yes.
white one. It could
Mhm.
pull forward another 4 feet because it's a very long spot, and the passengers can just walk off in that space. So
Okay.
so it's even completely a non-issue. And the guy, this is not problem driven. This is just kind of like pit bull harassment driven.
Okay,
Just blind code, whatever. So nothing in context and nothing fair and just here.
no problem. I look forward to looking at the previous hearing and reading your presentation. Time was limited here, but as long as you submit it to the clerk and to us, I promise you I will read it and weigh all the evidence.
I'll send it again.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you,
much, Ms.
Public
Harris.
Works,
Thank you.
for your presentation. This hearing is officially closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye,
Have a good day.
everyone.
Bye.